Hey there and welcome to 4 Accelerator. I'm your host Zoo, and we are now continuing our playthrough as the Ottomans in the classical era. So let's do a few things first. Let's kill this slinger here. We got a Dark Age for the classical era, and we are thus slowly losing loyalty. I'm going to open up the loyalty lens, which would be, what is it, this 8? I think. Number 8. Sorry. Yeah, number 8. And you can see we're getting some pressure from Hungary over here. Our capital's doing just fine. I wonder... Let's see, we're losing 0.7 per turn, but it started out at 100, so it's going to take it quite a while to lose loyalty completely. If we open up the era progress panel, we can see that Hungary did in fact get a golden age. That's why they're putting some more loyalty pressure on us, and we have some penalties to our own loyalty pressure because we're in a dark age. Let's explore a little bit, see Hungary's lands. Okay. And why don't we pick a dedication? So I'm not going for a religion, so that's out. I am probably going to build an encampment at some point. But probably just 1 or maybe 2. So I think there's probably better ways to get era score for now. So then the question is between free inquiry, pen, brush, and voice. And I find it's a little bit easier generally to get some scientific eurekas in the early game. So I think I'm going to go with free inquiry. I think there might just be more text, and that might be why it is, or it seems like they're generally easier, but I'm going to go for that. Let's see, in Ederne, or I don't know how to say it, but what do we want to do here? We're still good on housing, at least for now, although having a higher population would help us with our loyalty. Let's see, we'll get this in 1 turn, that's good. Why don't we move our builder there now? And hopefully the city doesn't surprise us by expanding somewhere else. We do have a Goge in, and I am seeing some heavy chariots here, so I think for now I'll just build a spearman there. We have 6 turns until early Empire. What cards do we want in? We don't have a wild card slot, so we can't put these in. I think leaving urban planning and a Goge in is fine for right now. We're not really dealing with many barbs, so I'll probably just leave those policies in. And we are close to finishing horseback riding, which is excellent. We still have another civ to discover here. We'll probably find them on the next turn, and we'll have to pick one of these 2 civs to go after early. We're going to want to get our military up and running before we can go after them. So we might end up hitting them next episode, if not this episode. But let's see what we can do to hit them as quickly as possible. We're going to try to use horseback riding and the horsemen you get as a kind of power spike, but we'll see if it works.
No hour of life is wasted.
That is spent in the saddle. Okay, so we found Buda, we found Pest. I think I would like an encampment here. And this seems like a good spot here for an encampment. I mean, this would be a good farm triangle, so would this, but I don't really want to put the encampment on floodplains. I don't know if I can, and at least this way it's closer to Hungary. So I think I'll purchase this tile and put down an encampment. Now the question is, do I want to build the encampment first or finish the spearmen? I think we will... Let's rush out the spearman first, because he does have significantly higher combat strength than us, so we should probably get some more units out. We're also getting a spearman here, which we can then move over. Let's see who our neighbor is, and it is Basil II.
Αυτοκράτορος και δεσπότου των Ρωμαίων, μάστιγος των εθρών εμών, ιδού Ρωμανία.
Don't be fooled, he doesn't lead Rome, he leads the Byzantine Empire. So we are his natural enemies. Not that the AI will prioritize us or anything. And he's already got walls, so right now, Hungary looks like a slightly easier target. Of course, we're gonna eventually want siege anyway, because that's kind of our civ's bonus. If we open this up, do we want to be friends with him? We can't send him a delegation because we just spent most of our gold. He would give us 3 gold per turn. I believe we're still trading with Matthias here. He's got his own Mercury now, so he wouldn't give us any gold for that anyway. Why don't we try to make a trade deal with him? And that might make him like us a little bit more, possibly. So we'll try that. And it'll give us more gold at any rate. Now what do we want to research? I still don't have a great place for a campus. I'm not near any mountains or geothermal fissures or reefs or anything. So I think I will still try to forego writing for now. Eventually we're going to want to get currency for commercial hubs, but I think going for masonry to get battering rams and then head over to engineering for catapults will be the most efficient use of our civ's strength, since it focuses on siege, which I think the siege unit bonus I think focuses on the catapult line. I don't think it applies to these battering rams and siege towers because I think they're technically support. That's what it says as the promotion class. But we'll go for masonry anyway, and then we'll head over to engineering. Basil's actually rather happy with us for right now. So maybe we will go for Hungary first. We'll see. Divine Guardian. It's probably because he hasn't founded a religion yet. Alright, he'll be our friend. Okay, so it looks like we will focus on Hungary for now, even though they have a higher military strength. They're a little bit less defended right now, which works in our favor. Let's just do some exploring while we're down here. Let's explore around here. Okay, Istanbul has reached 4 out of 5, which means its food is a little inefficient right now. It'll grow in 19 turns. Let's see what we can do in terms of building right now. I think I'd like to get encampment out. We're about to finish early empire, and then I'd like to put in the colonization card and produce maybe 1 or 2 more settlers. Meanwhile, we'll get encampments down to start earning us a great general. That'll be useful. And for this encampment, where would I like to put it? I could put it here, and then it would give adjacency to our eventual harbor, which we'd like to build. And that way we can keep some of these good grassland tiles open for future farms. So we might try to cluster our districts over in this direction. It would put units slightly further away from Hungary, but I think we're going to be planning on building mostly horsemen out of the encampment anyway. So I think it's fine to purchase this tile when we can afford it. It'll cost 60, so that'll be our next purchase. But since we can't purchase a tile right now, and the only place we can place the encampment would be here, but we want that tile. It's a pretty good tile. So I think instead I might go for a trader. I still have a Goge in, so I could still build more units. We already have 3 archers, so we've already gotten the boost to machinery. I think I'll go for the trader, which will be useful. Get some roads going. Sure, let's move there. Let's move there. Let's just explore around this Black Sea. It looks like the Black Sea is pretty small in this universe. Ah, he's sending us fermented murrey, olive oil, wine, kefulatiri. Sounds good. And that just means he's sending us 25 gold, which is excellent because it helps us afford that tile we wanted to place our encampment. Encampment? Encampment. Okay. So let's put this encampment down. And we could finish that trader, or we could just rush the encampment. Do. Do. Why don't we do the trader and then the encampment? But I've already placed the encampment, which locks in its production cost. And since it's going to be a while before I produce more settlers, let's see. So yeah, right now we're focusing on production here. Yeah, that seems fine. If we put it on food and production, it would take another turn to produce the trader, and it would still take 19 turns to grow. So I think I'm going to go with the production focus in this city. Uh-oh, we have some barbs incoming. Step away and shoot. We'll get this one over to help clean up that barbarian. Let's just scout out Hungary's lands a little bit. Hopefully we don't get locked behind enemy lines. So we'll get the trader out first, and that'll help us get a road going over towards Hungary. Help us move units there faster when we eventually do attack. And we'll get a couple of encampments out. I think I'm going to switch off from early empire over to state workforce and then finish off early empire, because I'm not actually going to build that settler until I at least get the encampment out. And so I think my current cards are the ones I want to have in, and if I'm not going to try to change my cards, there's no point in finishing off a civic right away, except to get the governors, which would be useful. But Aderna, as you can see, is no longer threatened for loyalty. It'll have full loyalty in 3 turns. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, someone built the pyramids. Basil, you built the pyramids, you scamp. Good job. Okay. Warrior's coming out to play. So we'll kill him. And now we are on floodplains. I don't want to lose this unit, so I'm going to heal. First, I'm going to move him here, just in case there's a flood here. Now that unit won't get destroyed. Still more barbarians. There's rough terrain here, so I feel safe giving it a hit right there. Do a little bit more scouting. Alright, now the city's losing loyalty again. It's going to fluctuate a little bit, but the loyalty is falling very slowly, so I'm not super worried about that. If we need to, we can... we're going to finish and get a governor pretty soon anyway, so that's fine. And the first governor I get probably will be Ibrahim, our special Ottoman governor, which will start out by giving us plus 20% production to all military units in the city, which is pretty good. Let's see. Train a galley, send a trade route, send a trade route. Okay, maybe we'll send a trade route over to Johannesburg from our capital if it's in range. It might not be. We could send a trade route from Moderna, but it would be a little bit less helpful. So we'll try sending the trade route to Johannesburg if we can. From Istanbul would be ideal, because then we get a nice long road. Might be a little out of range. I think the range is 10 tiles, although I'm not sure of that.
When wasteful war
Shall statues overturn. Okay, now let's finish off that encampment here. Well, actually, we might want to go for walls first, just to pick up the boost to engineering, which is the next thing we want to do. So, yeah, why don't we build ancient walls? It's close to our enemy. Then we'll put down the encampment. Easy peasy. Ah, okay. These barbarians are not giving up. Let's move where he can't hit us. And where we can't be flooded. He's on a marsh terrain, which actually gives him a penalty when we ranged attack in there. So that's cool. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. And that barbarian committed harried carry against our what is it? Our archer. Okay, if we get one shot here, can you finish him off? You can indeed. Perfecto. So there's probably a barbarian outpost just right down there that's causing trouble. Okay, we have scouted out the Empire a little bit. He's got an industrial zone, an entertainment complex, sorry, building there. Let's try to get our warrior back where we want him so he doesn't get trapped there. And we can just put this spearman on alert, put this spearman on alert. They're both safe for now. There's the barbarian slinger. Alright, he's safe on this marsh. I'm just going to heal him up there. There's the rest of the Black Sea. Alright. Ah, okay, we are in range of Johannesburg, so I think we'll send it there and we'll get an envoy there. If we can get them to be our suzerain while we're attacking Hungary, that'd be very useful. Let's see, he's building a wonder. He's building the Great Bath. That's pretty cool. Usually the Great Bath is built by the deity AI by this point. Otherwise I might have considered going for it in Aderna, although it probably would have been a trap and a mistake anyway. Yeah, so let's get that envoy. We'll build a nice long road that'll kind of go past Aderna anyway, and it'll go towards Pest. See, there's that flood, so it's a good thing we moved our units off the floodplains. Alright. Okay, more slingers. One of these slingers will be able to hit our archer, but that's okay. We can take the hit. Archers are a lot stronger than slingers. Oh my, yeah, that's a lot of barbs.
Sometimes the wheel turns.
Luckily, they're not really our problem. We can just move away, and then they're gonna attack Basil, not us. Let's move onto that hill just to keep that swordsman away from us. We'll back you up, attack the slinger there. We can bring our warrior friend around to bear. Who got the promotion? You got the promotion. That's pretty cool. Okay, we'll finish the walls. That'll give us engineering. We're about to finish state workforce. That'll give us conscription, which will save us some money, which will be useful. Because we're not building any units right now with Agoge, so we can swap it out, put in conscription for decreased unit maintenance. Am I still on? My stream. It's showing it's gone black. Okay, that's not good. Bear with me, I'll try to figure this out. How's that? Let's see how this appears when we get it back. Okay, let's just change that resolution. Let's see how that is. Okay, that looks better. Sorry about that, but looks like we've got things sorted out now. So I was about to put in conscription instead of a goge, and we'll leave an urban planning for now. I think we're about to swap that out and put in colonization to get a couple more settlers out. So right now that's good. Now we're making 11 gold per turn. That's excellent. So now we have a choice. We could go directly for Ibrahim, which would give us plus 20% production to military units. Let's just look at all his abilities here. Friendly units fighting within city's territory gain 5 combat strength. That is defensive. Zoroaster grants all units within 10 tiles of the city center plus 10 combat strength when attacking defensible districts. That's a little bit more offensive. We can put Ibrahim in Aderna, and he'll help us siege Pesht and Buda and beyond. And we can talk about his other abilities later as we get closer to those. So we could go straight for Ibrahim here, and that would be to our military advantage. But we might also think about going for Pingala just because his bonus to science and culture is so strong in the early game. And especially once you can get either connoisseur or researcher with our population, although we don't really have a high population city at this point, but even +4 would be pretty substantial for science and culture, and that might keep us in the science game just long enough to conquer our first civilization and then build up some infrastructure. So I'm not sure which one I want to go with just yet. Maybe I'll wait until I get my second governor title, and then I'll probably have to decide. We could promote you. So why don't we... I already have a couple of archers with volley, so I think I'll put garrison on at this point. And I'll just heal you up on this hill. You already fired on the... I almost said Iron Man, on the swordsman. Okay, so we'll get another governor title at early empire, and then we'll make up our minds about we'll make up our minds about what governor to get. Yeah. You know what? I think I'll just YOLO and go with Ibrahim because he is our unique ability. So I'm going to appoint him into Aderna. This has a few benefits. It'll up the loyalty so that Aderna stays fully loyal to us. And once we promote him with that Sarasker promotion, Pesht is within 10 tiles of Aderna. So we will get a nice hefty bonus to sieging the city. And wow, he built that Great Bath pretty fast. It's incredible. Deity AI is strong. Alright, let's move away from the bad swordsman. We can step up there, hit that slinger, maybe draw out the swordsman toward the archer in this direction. We want to move away from the swordsman. I think we want to move away from this swordsman too. Really, these barbs are not our problem. Unless we draw this barb all the way up to Istanbul, they're not our problem, and we don't necessarily have to worry about them. This is for Istanbul. Let's just move you onto that wheat tile where there's no floodplains to damage you. Okay. And by putting down those 2 encampments, we'll start getting great general points. Although we're a little bit behind the AI. A couple of AIs, fortunately not our neighbors,
It was
have already
luxuries like air
started getting
conditioning that brought down the Roman Empire.
great general
With
points.
air conditioning,
So we're
their
going to want to
windows were shut.
build some military
They couldn't hear the
encampment
barbarians
buildings.
coming.
We want to build some encampment buildings in order to get more points, and maybe even do a project to get a great general. But for now, I think we do definitely need more cities. So I will put in the colonization card, and once this encampment is finished, we will start making some settlers there, because it's, like I said in the last episode, this is already at its housing limit, so its food is inefficient. So if we can focus on production and put out a few settlers, that will make its food growth then more efficient again. So the plan is not to develop Istanbul very heavily. Rather, we're just going to use it as a sort of base to put out settlers and other units. And then meanwhile, Aderna is actually sort of a more promising city since it's settled on fresh water and has some stronger yield tiles around it. Next, we need to choose a civic. We have a couple of choices. The benefit of going with military tradition here would be to get maneuver, which will allow us to produce ancient classical era heavy and light cavalry faster, meaning our horsemen faster, which is our plan. But I think going for political philosophy first is fine in this case. And then in order to use this Strategos card for +2 great general points per turn, we're going to need a wild card policy from our government anyway. So I think we might as well pick political philosophy first. Usually this is your 5th civic, or 6th if you include code of laws that you're going to pick anyway, just because it makes sense to try to get a government as early as possible. And we have another governor promotion. Let's get Sarasker here. And let's move away from that swordsman at a rapid pace. Let's move away and shoot that swordsman. So he might attack us, and that'll do a fair bit of damage, but he'll probably kill himself in the process, so I'm not too worried there. And we can move on to the next turn. We're about to get the one-time deal. 20 horses for 5 gold per turn. I'm not close to building my horsemen right now, so I think I'm going to take that. That extra gold will come in handy when we finally do build the horsemen. They will come with a kind of big price tag, so it'll be good to get a gold stockpile up now. Military training from completing an encampment, engineering boost from completing our walls. I'd say do we want to build a settler here as well? We could. This is, by the time we finish the settler, this will have grown to its housing pop as well. While we have the settler card in, I think we should probably build settlers in both cities, if we can afford to do so, and I think we have the room right now. And just getting out a couple more cities, I think, will be really useful. We probably do want to settle one here. Yeah, here, and maybe just on the horses there. And that'll actually put us in range of the iron, which will be good too. Yeah, I think that's probably where we'll settle. I could put pins down, but I can remember it right now, so that's fine. Yeah, I don't want that swordsman to hit my archer. I'm just going to run the archer away for now. And it is very tempting to get these buildings down. That'll really help. I think after doing a settler, I'll just do a couple of encampment training projects between my 2 cities to get that great general. Although I do want to put down a stable anyway. But the great general will help us in our conquest pretty substantially. That's why I'm thinking about trying to get one. For now, though, we have the settler card in. Maybe it was a bit premature. Maybe I should have waited until I already had political philosophy to do this, but we're in it now. It would cost, let's see, it would cost 190 gold to change our policies without unlocking a civic, so I think I might as well make use of the policy card while I have it in and get those settlers out. Hopefully this is not a bad decision in the long run. It might sort of delay our conquest, but hopefully it allows us to catch up with these guys because they already have 4 cities out. And I'm going to move you into the city because that swordsman is coming our way. I'm going to move you to head off that swordsman. What do we got? Okay, Matthias Corvinus did finish the Great Bath. Good for him, and good for us because we plan on eventually taking it away from him. He is spreading his Catholicism to us. Okay, which doesn't really give us any benefits. Yes, we already knew about this barbarian coming. I don't like that he's in range to pillage our farm and our pasture and possibly heal off of them. I'm not going to send these spearmen because that swordsman as a melee unit has a bonus to anti-cavalry, so that swordsman can chew up those spearmen. So I'm just going to send the warrior and the archers back to deal with this guy. I'm a bit bummed that I led him back to the capital at this point. See, I would have much preferred if he had moved onto the farm, because we're not actually working that farm right now anyway. I don't want him to pillage that pasture, because that's one of our few sources of production, but there's nothing we can do at this point but shoot him anyway. And he probably will pillage it, but at least we'll kill him. Will he heal off of pastures? He might, I can't remember. Maybe by some miracle he won't pillage it. Maybe he'll attack us. Well, at least he didn't heal. So we'll get a kill. Waste not health. So that is annoying. Maybe I'll just save up gold and purchase a builder to repair and build some other infrastructure. Meanwhile, we do have our nice little road over to Johannesburg. Major drought? Well, that might have... Okay, so that was on this pasture. Yeah, we're definitely going to need a builder. It should cost us, I'm guessing, like 230. Yeah, 230 gold. So when we get to 230 gold, we'll purchase a builder. If I had the policy card in to produce builders, we'd probably want to produce instead of purchase, but right now, might as well purchase. And I think there are probably cards that do more for us in terms of production, especially producing lots of other things like urban planning. I don't think I'd want to put in the builder card anyway. Let's heal up this archer. Let's move this archer to where... Let's move these 2 archers to where we plan to settle. A storm rages on. There's a blizzard behind the mountains. Let's move you forward. All right, we're finishing off engineering, and we are building our settlers. And we might just go for these 4 cities for now, and then go to war, because There are a few other places I could settle, especially on the coast, but they're not great locations right now.
One man's magic
Is
is another man's engineering.
Alright, let's settle. Do I want to settle off the horses and improve the horses for a slightly better tile, or do I just want to settle on the horses? That is the question. I think I'll just settle on the horses. I think that gives us a slightly better range of tiles to work, and it doesn't put us next to that desert, and we can chop off this forest if we need to. And I think we will settle here as well, and we will put a pasture down there, and that'll be a good tile. Settling on top of this cattle would give us 3 food in our city as well, and 1 production, because the city defaults to 1 production. But I think in this case I'll settle here, because that puts us closer to these marshes where we'll get +2 production, although this would put us next to this marsh. We're still in range of the bananas. It's a little bit closer. Plus, I believe there's a loyalty penalty there. Yeah, okay, so the clear winner is that tile right there. So that's where we'll move. That yucker. I don't know what a yucker is. I just said it. Okay. We could go for machinery, but it's in the medieval era, so there's a pretty hefty penalty to our research to it. We should probably backfill a little bit. I think we'll go for currency. Actually, it might be time to go for celestial navigation. Put down a harbor. No, I think going writing and currency makes a little bit more sense. Maybe we'll put a commercial hub here in this city. Let's think about our districts a little bit. Okay, nah, we can do that later. Okay, 2 turns till political philosophy. I think we need to get our war production underway now that we've unlocked horsemen and catapults. 6 turns until we can build a horseman, so we probably want to get a catapult. It is very tempting to get that stable, though. It would cost 480 gold. We said we wanted to buy a builder, and if I stand by that. Yeah, the question is, like, do you invest in the infrastructure early and then build up your military, or do you just go for the military? And right now, they're kind of weak, but I'm worried that they will get out of hand very quickly. So I think we need to go for the short term right now, and hopefully we get enough great general points once we put in the Strategos card to see us through. But I think right now I'm going to forego building the stable, which is what I want to build here. Because our unique unit is the Janissary, you might think, well, we want to build the barracks, but I don't have immediate access to iron, so I'm not going to build swordsmen, and my warriors are about to be obsolete. So I might as well build the stable, in theory, to make my horsemen better, and they might have patched this out, but at least it used to be the case that stables also had a hidden benefit to giving increased experience to siege, and we do want siege. The other reason to go for the stable in the cities that we found is because building our Janissary is better in building in conquered cities. So my plan is to build barracks in conquered cities and build stables in the cities that we found. So that's my plan. But like I said, I think I will forego building the stable for now and just start building some more units, because I'd really like to hit Hungary sooner rather than later. What civic do we need to get to do joint wars? Is it early empire? Open borders, defensive tactics, maybe. I don't remember. Maybe we can always do joint wars. Joint ongoing war. Okay. Yeah, joint war. So foreign trade is... Maybe we can get Basil to join us in a war against Hungary. Okay, we have enough for that builder. So why don't we purchase that builder? We'll grow in 6 turns now if we do that, which would increase our production. So I'm going to set that to food growth. You are not growing anyway, so we'll put you on production for now. And behold, we are in the classical era in terms of our civics, with the unlocking of political philosophy.
Politics is the art of the possible, the attainable, the art
of the next best. And we are probably going to want to pick oligarchy for its +4 combat strength to melee and anti-cav units, plus the 20% unit experience. But right away, it's possible we want to start with autocracy for its 2 red cards. We don't really need to prioritize green cards right now. That is like the diplomatic sort of cards. So I think I will go for autocracy, just so that we can put in more red cards. And then by the time we're ready to go to war, that's when we'll put in oligarchy. And that's when it'll be more beneficial to us. Okay, so I definitely want to go for military tradition, get maneuver and strategos, which will take 3 turns. But for those 3 turns, we do want conscription in. I think we'll just put in a Goge for now. We only have 1 turn left on that settler. What can we do here? Anything good? Don't want that one. If we were 1 turn later, we could put in that, but we're not doing domestic trade routes anyway. Builders, no. I think we'll just put in urban planning. And we'll just leave that in to finish off that settler, and for 3 turns, then we'll replace colonization, we'll move urban planning up. And we will put in strategos and maneuver. But that's good enough for 3 turns. And this is just to escort that settler down. So first things first, we want to get some repairs done.
writing is easy.
All you have to do is cross out the wrong words. Okay, we're going to settle on those horses. This is also going to put more loyalty pressure on this spot, so we're not going to have to worry about that loyalty penalty that it was showing. Now that we've settled the city, let's move our archer up. And how much gold do we have? Okay, 70 gold to purchase that iron. I do think I want to get this builder to improve that iron, just so we can start making swordsmen if we need to. We can upgrade our warrior to a swordsman, for example. So we'll make that gold in a little bit. In the meantime, I'd like to do some development here in the city, starting with a monument. And now would be a good time to finish that encampment. Do we want to go for watermill? We'd get construction. They moved siege tower, didn't they? Yeah, siege tower is in machinery. I think it used to be in construction. Could be wrong. But I don't see a need to go for construction right now. What would unlock down here? It would get us faster to gunpowder, but I think it's fine right now as things stand. So we'll go for currency. Then maybe we'll go for celestial navigation, or maybe we'll go for military tactics. Try to get pikemen. Maybe go for machinery. We'll see. But right now we're fine. We don't need the watermill right away to get that boost, although we would like the boost eventually. I think we'll go with the encampment for now. And we will repair our pasture tile. Alright. Let's just leave you there. We lost our supply of horsemen. This says we're getting 2 per turn, though. Oh, it's because we settled the city. Yeah, I want to repair that, just so we get our horses faster. We're going to need a lot of them.
Bravery is being the only one.
Who knows you're afraid? Maneuver. We have to put in maneuver there. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what we want. And now that we've done that, I think we should probably head up towards medieval fairs and mercenaries past feudalism. So let's go with games and recreation. Then we can maybe get to military training. If we could put in the raid policy card while we're at war, that'd be pretty useful. Could go for the statue of Zeus if we felt like building a barracks in one of our encampments. Yeah, actually military training could be good, and we can build our encampment buildings once we have veterancy to make it faster to build them. A haboob. Yeah, we're going to want to do some projects to get a great general, hopefully before Hungary does. Trung Track, that's a new great general. Permanently reduces your empire's war weariness by 25%. That sounds kind of nice. Who got that? We don't know. A couple great generals have gone out already. We would like a classical era one. So I think right after this, we might rush out a couple of those projects just to ensure that we get a great general that we can use. Let's see, what do we want to build around here? Could put another quarry down. I think while we're up here, we might do that, and then we might send it back down to help us improve some things around here. We are lacking some amenities, but as I said in the previous video, that's fine, and you don't have to dedicate your game to like fixing these problems whenever any of these housing or amenity pop-ups appear. Alright, this era is almost over, so yeah, like I said, with Deity AI, they move very quickly through the eras. That pulls the whole game era up faster. So even though we're attacking with classical age units right now, we might not even do so until the medieval era, but that's fine too. Yeah, I think I want to keep these archer units with melee units out in front. Alright, so now it should be 9 turns until the classical era. And it looks like we might go for a Dark Age again, unless we can get 3 era score. But that's okay. That, I mean, that actually kind of makes sense for the Ottomans to get Dark Ages, because they didn't exist really until the High Middle Ages, and uh, then we can get a nice heroic age in the Renaissance era after we do some conquest. Oh, our encampment went down too? You gotta be kidding me. It's one thing after another. And then we'll do encampment training. Try to get those great general points. We can settle this city now. What do we got? Erzurum. Something like that. I think we might indeed put a harbor here just for the gold, even though we don't really plan on building ships, but it'll still make it a pretty good city. In the meantime, I'm tempted to actually just get a builder here. We could put down a pasture, a plantation, but the monument is what's going to make the borders grow, and there are some pretty good normal tiles. Plus, we have that Lady of the Reeds and Marshes benefit from these marsh tiles. Why don't we go for the monument? The monument is a really good thing to build as soon as you settle a city. The other thing would be a granary, but that's not as big a priority if you're settling on fresh water. If I were just settling on the coast, which I might have to do if I press 4 to turn on the settler lens here, I might be tempted to settle on the coast a little bit later just to fill in some of the space, or settle over here. If I settle off of fresh water, then I might be tempted to prioritize the granary before the monument, but ideally you'd have both. Okay. Let's just move these units. Alright, we wanted to put a quarry down. I would like to start putting farms down to boost feudalism, but...
Σπανίζεις εμνότητος, τιμής, ευσεβίας, παντών όσα απεργάζονται των άρχοντα δίκαιων.
Well, you could just spread your religion to me, and then I'll have the same religion as you. Imagine that.
Monet.
Monet. Let's see. So if I had gone for the watermill, I could have gone for construction and could have gotten the boost games and recreation, but I probably would have gotten this in the same amount of turns anyway, so that's fine. Let's move this guy back down. Like I said, I would like to start building farms before too long, but I think we can do better if we pull him down in this direction and have him improve some of this stuff. He's got 2 charges left. I think I will put a pasture down on this cattle and then get that iron. What do we want to do next? Now, why don't we go for celestial navigation? We're going to want gold, and harbors are going to be a slightly better source of gold for us right now, just because of where our cities are than currency. So I think we'll go for that. It is tempting to go, at least put 5 turns into iron working, but I think if we boost it first, just so we don't accidentally fill it out, then we'll get our builder down to that iron mine, get it improved, and then we can go that way. And then, while we're attacking Hungary, we'll be able to upgrade our archers to crossbowmen if we have the gold for it, which will be important. Alright, let's just put you on alert. Okay, he wants me to build ships. I guess I could do that. I'm just going to delete that pin, because I'm going to remember where to put my harbor. Alright, we finished that encampment. We definitely want a great general, especially before Hungary gets one. Yeah, so why don't we just do a couple of projects, 1 in each city. Well, now it's 8 turns. It was 6 turns before. I guess it scales with the number of technologies and such. Let's try to declare friendship again, just to keep him happy. Perfect. He would give us 41 gold for a copy of Mercury, and he doesn't have any gold per turn, so I say we take it. Did I already give you open borders? Well, I don't really care about yours, so that's fine. I do want those horses, though, so I'm not going to sell the horses. Maybe, yeah, I think I'll just buy this now, since we have the gold for it. Alright, our forces are descending, moving towards Hungary. Alright, we said we wanted to do an encampment training project here as well. Perfect, and we do have an envoy which we could send to Johannesburg, but Matthias is already suzerain. I think I'm going to hold on to this envoy because it won't do any good for us yet to send this. Maybe we'll try to get, what's her name? Amani, and put her in there just to take it away from Matthias. But I'm only going to spend my envoys when I know they'll be of use to me, and right now putting an extra envoy into any of these city-states wouldn't be useful, because having 2 envoys with a city-state does nothing, and having 3 is only beneficial for this bonus if you have a factory or a consulate, or a second-tier building in your district of the relevant type, or the consulate building, or if you can get suzerainty. But right now, with that extra envoy, all I would do is take away suzerainty, which I definitely want to do before I attack Matthias, but it's not necessary to do right now. So I'd rather keep my options open. Alright, we've got a pretty good military force here. He has a slightly bigger military, but maybe if we declare war on him, he'll sort of just attack us, and we can weaken his units before we attack his cities. Still, I have a few more preparations to make before I actually declare war. I do want to get some horsemen on the field to be able to destroy his units faster and more effectively.
A physician without a knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician.
Alright, and then we get sailing. Okay, I might send the next trader over to Anshan, although these are mountains. It doesn't look like we're going to have any available trade routes to Anshan. Yeah, okay, so I won't do that. Instead, we were getting gold from Johannesburg, 4 gold per turn. We could send this trader down to Ansira. That should make Basel slightly happier with us, and eventually we can use that road for war if we choose to. It might be good to do an internal trade route. Probably from Adern. It would be the most effective there. Aderna. Just leave you there for now. Okay, let's see. What's the highest amount of gold we can get? Because I do think gold might be more useful right now. Available routes, gold. Yeah, Joburg is the highest. So do we want to go for gold, or do we want an internal trade route? Internal trade routes send food and production to a city. I'm not too worried about expanding these cities. They're not gonna really help us a lot right now. Aderna might, though. I think having a high production on the front lines here might be beneficial. So I think I'll move it over to Aderna and trade with Istanbul. It'll build maybe like a couple more road tiles before it connects to this road. You know what? I might just head straight for the iron just to get that boost earlier. That's fine where you are. You're fine. My troops are merely passing by. Sure, sure. I mean, they're not too far forward. We could send this to Pest. Get some culture. I think we will do that. Yeah. Internal trade route with Istanbul.
It is not that life is...
Nicomedia. Well, that's kind of rude, just to run right past me like that. Alright, one turn left in this era. We are going to get a Dark Age. That is going to be slightly problematic, or less than ideal anyway, for the next era if we plan to go to war. But we will make do. Meenakshi has been built. The world enters the medieval era.
People who cannot find time for...
And with that, let's call it a break for now. Thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, I'd love to read them, so please leave a comment. If you like the content, please like the channel, and if you want more content, then please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. So thank you and goodbye.